Verse 6, what they were makes no difference to me. God shows no partiality. I think we need to really keep that in mind, whether we're rich or we're poor. As Christians, one of the things we are commanded to do, of course, is remember the poor and to give generously. Brother Chris here, my counterpart in the study, really is probably a little better at this than I am. I'll brag on you a little bit, Chris. He used to walk around the park here in town with Bible tracts and McDonald's bags to give to homeless people. It's important to remember that the gospel is for everyone, and maybe even perhaps especially poor people. Lazarus there, he was a beggar in the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. It's important to remember that Lazarus, he was a beggar. In fact, the same Greek word here translated as poor is used to describe Lazarus in the parable of the rich man and poor Lazarus. Leviticus, just by way of quick study, Leviticus mentions the poor in several places. Leviticus 25:25, if thy brother be waxen poor and hath sold away some of his possession, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem it that which his brother sold. So the relatives of one was allowed to pull his brother out of financial straits, and not only allowed to, but really sort of encouraged by this. God went out of his way to mention this here in this verse of Leviticus. Then you have Leviticus 25:35. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fall in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or sojourner, that he may live with thee. So here again we see that if someone is so poor that they don't even have a place to live, they are supposed to take, their brothers are supposed to take him in and live here with that relative, even if they have never met. Leviticus 25:36 and 25:39. Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee. And then 39, really connecting all of this. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant. So here again we see that being poor, that even if you sell yourself to your brother, he is not supposed to compel you to be a slave. You're supposed to treat him with equity and respect, even and especially in the midst of his trying circumstances. So not only, obviously remembering the poor, obviously sort of there's no contest that regards to giving monetarily to the poor, but it even really extends beyond that, remembering the poor. Chris?
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. There are more than 300 verses about the poor all throughout the Bible. And, I haven't scratched the surface on them. I just got that stat from somewhere in the Bible, in a commentary or something. But one of the ones that really always struck me was Psalm 41, verses 1 through 3, which there's so many promises about remembering the poor. But this is a pretty unique one, I think. It says, blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord will deliver him in time of trouble. The Lord will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth. And thou wilt not deliver him unto the will of his enemies. The Lord will strengthen him upon the bed of languishing. Thou wilt make all his bed in his sickness. That's a pretty good deal, But I think it really comes down to being a cheerful giver and really trusting God, I think, is what giving to the poor is about. And also just love. I think that's the biggest thing is that, you mentioned the homeless thing. And I think that the homeless are, and it's probably one of the reasons that God has such a strong, desire for ministry to the poor is because they really recognize, love, and they understand, it seems to me, spiritual, I don't know what it is, but they're so very ready to receive the Lord. I think that you will find that very quickly you get involved with prayer and very heavy spiritual, warfare things, and different things go on with that ministry, because they are a lot of people that want free, and they want Jesus is what it really comes down to. So maybe that's why he said to minister to the poor. But in the context of this verse, it says only that we should remember the poor, the same which I was also forward to do. And this is one verse where some commentators feel that the visit spoken of in this chapter can't be the Acts 11 or famine visit, because Paul delivered food to the poor saints in Jerusalem in that visit. So, but then again, I mean, it would also be something that you would expect if he had just delivered food in this particular visit too. Like, hey, remember to do what you just got done doing here, and we're all good. And I don't know. So that's really not a really good point. A lot of the points like that are really inconsequential and don't seem to matter all that much. But I guess that pretty much takes care of our study from Galatians 2, verse 1 through 10, and we will finish up the chapter next week. You can go to the website verse-by-verse-bibleteaching.com. We just updated a lot of things. We've got a YouTube site up there now and started up the archive page, so it's really taking shape over there. So pay us a visit at verse-by-verse-bibleteaching.com. All right, thanks a lot.